Hello, I am Curled Up Armadillo, and I'm gonna talk about two books this time that I read. The first one is Earthlings by Sayaka Murata. I picked this up because of the cover. I'm gonna show it again. Because of the little hamster. It reminded me of Hamtaro. It's a children's cartoon, and it has this very hyper intro song. It's very uplifting and happy, and this book is not. It's about a girl, Natsumi, who every summer goes to her grandmother and grandfather in the mountains. Every year she meets Yu again, who is her cousin and her secret boyfriend. And don't worry, that's not a spoiler because it's on page 4. They are there to celebrate Obon, a Japanese Buddhist custom to honor the spirits of one's ancestors. When they do something inappropriate, according to the family, they keep Natsuki and Yu away from each other, and Natsuki's family will not attend Obon anymore. Also, I forgot to say, Natsuki's family is just horrible to her. I don't know why, but she has this sister who is called Kisei, and obviously that's the child they love, and Natsuki is just this annoying little child that's also there. As I said, not very happy and uplifting. So the story continues, and Natsuki, now older, thinks that the world is designed to make babies. She calls it the baby factory, and she will not cooperate. She's in an asexual marriage with Tomoya, and that happened because both the family of Natsuki and the family of Tomoya were pushing them to get married and to get children, because that's important, and everyone is brainwashed by the factory, according to Natsuki. Natsuki and Tomoya don't want children, they just want to live their life and be left alone by their family. For me, this book is about being a woman and the expectations that are imposed upon women. It's also about what is expected in society and the choice of going along with it or going against it, and what the consequences are when you go against it. It really made me think about being a part of this baby factory and being a part of the factory in general, because I am a heterosexual man and I am engaged to a heterosexual woman. Very factory-like. And I also think about wanting to have a child, and my girlfriend thinks about it, so that's also very factory-like. It made me think about what other things are there that are seen as the norm, and maybe we should question those things, like marriage, like the baby factory, like everything revolving around making babies, maybe being career driven, trying to get money. Are those our own choices, or are we just going along in the factory? So yeah, I think this book it's great. It really made me think about, well, what I just said, as about the factory, as Natsuki calls it. And I would give it 5 stars, but the ending is bloody horrible. I would completely go Gordon Lish on this. If you don't know who he is, he was Raymond Carver's editor and notorious for deleting a whole bunch of his words. And I would delete the last 35 pages of this book, because they do not add anything to the story other than this weird layer of some sort of survival which doesn't need to be there. I think I would recommend to pick this up because it's a very interesting read, but I would stop at page 211. And then there's this white line, empty line, this break, and I would stop there. The last words, which do not spoil it, are "of this glowing orb," and then just stop reading. Yeah. Otherwise, this book, it would have been great, but now it's a 4-star book, I guess. The second book I read, Breasts and Eggs by Mieko Kamakami. The story is about 3 women, Natsuko, her older sister Makiko, and Makiko's daughter Midoriko, It's from the point of view of Natsuko. She's a writer working on a book of her, but she is sort of stuck. And during this impasse, she learns about infertility treatments and sperm donors. She isn't infertile, though, but she's trying to figure things out. I'm not gonna tell a whole lot more because I think I love this book. It's about motherhood and about women making choices about their bodies, about the choice of having a child, and I would give it 5 stars if that's of any importance to you. The writing is very straight to the point, but because of that there are some really hard hitters. This is pretty in the front of the book, so not really a spoiler again. I will just read some of it. The other day at school, between classes, I forget who, but someone was saying, I was born a girl, so yeah, I definitely want to have a baby of my own eventually. Where does that come from, though? Does blood coming out of your body make you a woman, a potential mother? What makes that so great anyway? Does anyone really believe that? Just because they make us read these stupid books doesn't make it true. I hate it so much. It feels like I'm trapped inside my body. It decides when I get hungry and when I'll get my periods. From birth to death. You have to keep eating and making money just to stay alive. I see what working every night does to my mom. I love the writing style of it because it doesn't have these beautiful sentences and great scene descriptions and things like that, but it's so straight to the point and so on the dot that it hits you right where it should. Just like Earthlings, this book made me also think a lot. I read it pretty quick after Earthlings, so in my mind the factory was still going, that idea, and I was thinking about why do we have all these expectations? When you're born a woman, you will be getting children. When you're born a man, you will find and conquer a woman and get her to marry you. Yeah, I just don't get why we have these expectations. When you are born a man, you have to be tough, and when you're a woman, you like the color pink, for instance. It's ridiculous. I talked about this with my girlfriend, and she suggested to read We Should All Be Feminists again by this book, little book, by Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie. I read it again, and Adichie says on page 13, if we do something over and over again, it becomes normal. So I guess that's why we have all these weird expectations. We expect over and over again to be a man, to be tough, and be a woman, to be girly, or wear high heels or a dress, or men that have short hair instead of long hair like me. And to be honest, and this is a bit scary, but I hope we can just talk about it, I did not sort of get the gender fluid thing. To me it felt like a hype, and it made me a bit mad, and I just didn't understand it. I thought, what was wrong with men and women? Why should we need so many gender identifications? And I did not go along with it, but at the same time I knew I was wrong, but still I didn't get it. And after reading Earthlings by Sayaka Murata and Breasts and Eggs by Mieko Kamakami, I think I do get it. It's exactly as Adichie writes, although the first time reading this I didn't really connect, but she writes on page 34, the problem with gender is that it prescribes how we should be, rather than recognizing how we are. Well, that's exactly it. The expectations for women and men are just plain wrong. No one is really helped by it. We should look at our own needs, our own interests, and if you want to be class monitor, what Adichie writes about at the beginning of her book, go for it. If you want to, well, yeah, I will come to that. If you want to be a nurse, you like to weld, draw, dress up with high heels, wear pants, lipstick, whatever, just go for it. If you are a man or woman or something in between, it doesn't matter. Just do what feels good for you. And I see that now. But it's a lot easier said than done with all that, well, bullshit inequality. But being able to be who you are is how it should be. And I get that now. Finally. And I'm very grateful to have read Earthlings and Breasts and Eggs to finally get it. I do have one final note, and I will read something from Breasts and Eggs again, page 276. Who has the right to have a child? Does not having a partner or not wanting to have sex nullify this right? And I thought about that because I thought, what if I do have a partner but she does not want to give birth and I still really want to be a father? Do we have an innate right to have a child? Do I have the right to be a father? Like, no matter what, I have the right to be a father. And it's scary to think no, because I think I would like to be a father someday. But at the same time, I don't know if yes is the answer to the question. And is it a yes or no question, or is it something in between? I just don't know. I'm gonna think about that. I'm really curious to hear what you think, what your thoughts are about womanhood, fatherhood, the right to have a child. Yeah, so please let me know. I hope we can talk about it in a non-accusing way, because for me at least it's pretty scary to say I did not get the gender fluid thing. I think I do get it now, but I think it's scary to admit faults. But I do think it's important to be able to talk about it so we can change our mind about it. That's long enough of a final note, and I leave it at that. Let me hear what you think. Thanks again for listening, and see you in the next video. Bye.